Today's date is April 14th, 2026. My name is Ezra Goldstein. I am an 8th grade student at my Culture Hebrew Academy of Connecticut. I will be interviewing my grandma, whose name is Joan Goldenberg, about her life and legacy. This interview is being recorded for the oral history collection for the Jewish Historical Society of Fairfield County's archives, as well as our family archives. Over the next 15 minutes or so, I will ask you questions that will help me learn more about you and our family's history, especially our Jewish history. If you can't answer a question, just say so and we can move on to the next one. Also, if you would rather not answer a question for any reason, just tell me that. I want this to be fun and for you to feel comfortable at all times. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's start with you telling me your full name.
My full name is Joan Barracks Goldenberg.
Who were you named after?
Nobody, actually. I just the name that they pulled out of a hat.
Do you have a Hebrew name?
I do. My Hebrew name is Yocheved Devorah.
In this class, I've been learning about the immigration of Jews to the U.S. and other places. Do you know where your parents or family immigrated from?
Well, how far do you want me to go back? My parents were born in this country. My mother was born in Stamford and my father was born in Manhattan. His parents were born in Russia, and my mother's parents were born in Poland and London, England.
Before they immigrated to the United States, did they talk about what life was like before they left? Do you have any stories about Jewish life there?
I actually do. I have some very interesting stories about my grandmother. I have a picture of her if you'd like to see.
Sure.
This is my grandmother, Ray Epstein, and her husband, Max Epstein. He was from Riga, Russia, and she was from London, England. My grandmother, Ray, her father was a baker. And every Friday they would leave the bakery ovens on, and everybody, all the Jews in the neighborhood in the East End of London would come and put their cholent in the bakery oven. And after shul Saturday, the husbands would come with big mittens and carry the pots home for Shabbos lunch, which I thought was very interesting.
Did your parents or anyone in your family experience or affected by the Holocaust or the pogroms?
Very interesting question. My father's parents were, to a degree, both of his parents came here before the war, before the Holocaust. But apparently my father's father had 11 siblings that were all killed in the Holocaust. And as far as my mother's parents, the reason that my grandmother was living in London is because the family escaped from the pogroms in Poland and got to London in the 1880s, maybe, where my grandmother was born, 1890s.
This is a great background. Thank you. Now I would like you to take out the items that you brought, or that you brought to talk about today.
All right, it's very interesting, actually. This is a picture taken in approximately 1880. This was my great-grandfather, Abraham Moses Glickenstein, and this is Rivka Glickenstein. What's very interesting is Rivka Glickenstein is practically a clone of my mother. I do not have a picture of her with me right now, but that's her face. And if you'll notice, they're standing in very formal wear, and my great-grandmother is carrying a little purse. It's a sterling silver purse, especially for this photograph, and I just happen to have that purse right here. This has always been handed down since at least the 1880s, 90s, 1900, all the way through, all this 100 plus years later. Want to feel the weight of that? And that was her handbag right there, which I think is very interesting. And then this is their daughter and her husband, and it's a very interesting story about how they met. Is my grandfather was fighting with not Ben-Gurion. Was it Ben-Gurion? It was David Ben-Gurion. He was fighting in what they called Palestine. And since he was from Connecticut and there was no one else in the unit from Connecticut, he became friendly with a young man from England. And when they went home for a break or for whatever from their training, he was friends with her brother. And that's how he met my grandmother. And when they were finished fighting, and Ben Gurion asked my grandfather to please stay, and he said, I can't stay here, there's nothing here. It was really kind of a very grubby place, which is unfortunate for us because we'd all be sobbers now, but we are not. And they came to Connecticut, and he started a business, and the rest, as they say, is history. And by the way, you are named for her first child, or her first daughter, Ethel. So Ethel Epstein, Ezra Goldstein.
Now I would like to ask a few questions about your life growing up. Where did you grow up and who lived with you growing up?
I grew up in Stamford, Connecticut, and I lived with my mother and father, Dr. Harry Barracks, who your mother is named for. Harry is Hillary Goldstein, your mom. And my mother, Ethel Epstein Barracks, and Ethel is Ezra. And I have an older sister, Nancy, and a younger brother, Yeshaya, who went to bicultural and was one of the first graduating classes of bicultural. And my brother was the first Israel trip, which I understand you'll be doing in a few weeks. Hopefully. The very first Israel trip for the very first school in the United States to send to Israel was my brother. And they went from December to June. They were in 9th grade because back then bicultural went to 9th grade. And that's pretty much it. I did not go to bicultural, and neither did my sister. But my brother went because apparently Mr. S wanted more boys in the school. And so I didn't go.
When you were a teenager, did you have a bat mitzvah?
I did, as a matter of fact. I believe it was the first year they did bat mitzvahs because my sister is 1 year older than me, and she did not have a bat mitzvah. Then the following year it became a thing. So I had my bat mitzvah.
What was most meaningful to you about it?
About my bat mitzvah?
Yeah.
At the time, the presents. But now it's a rite of passage.
Now I would like you to pick your favorite Jewish holiday and describe how you and your family celebrated it when you were a child.
My favorite holiday always has been Sukkot. When I was very young, my father used to build a sukkah out of bamboo poles and leather strips and pieces of cloth that may or may not have been sheets or curtains. I do not remember, but I remember that he took these long leather strips and tied the bamboo at joints to create a frame, and then the schak over it, which was from trees on our property. And there were times when it was the weather has changed over time. We would have to dig a path in the snow from the back door to the sukkah to be able to eat there. But I loved it then, I love it now. It's still the best holiday going, as far as I'm concerned.
Now I would like to talk about our family Jewish traditions. My favorite one is when I make hamantaschen for Purim and making hamantaschen for Purim. What are yours?
Oh, I actually have always loved preparing for the Seder. And it's interesting is that I've been making the Seders basically since I was 11 years old because your great-grandmother, for whom you are named, did not like to cook. So I started cooking when I was young, and I would make the Seder and the charoset, and I would do all of the everything that's involved in it, the Seder plate and the soup. And this is the first year in 58 years that I have not had to do that because we came to you, and your mother had to do that.
Did anyone in your family serve in the military?
Let's see, my father, for whom your mother is named, was in World War II with his two brothers. I have a picture of them somewhere. I should dig that up and get that to you, which was lovely. And my grandfather fought in Palestine in whatever year that was, I don't know what year that was, 10, 15, 20, 30, I don't remember. I don't know, but a long time ago.
How did you meet my grandpa?
How did you meet your grandma? I met him at a Jewish singles dance in Rye, New York. And he was very cute.
What did you do to make a living in your adult life?
I have done lots and lots of things, but my favorite thing has been to teach exercise. I mostly teach exercise to people who are unfit, elderly, unstable, have a physical disability. So that if they have issues with balance, I work with that. If they have issues with strength or bad knees or bad back, I work with that. And that's pretty much been the past 30 years that I have really enjoyed doing that and helping people.
What invention do you think had the biggest impact in your life? Why did you choose this invention?
Microwave. Microwave changed everything. Although I have to step back. I remember when air conditioners were invented. And when I was about 6, we got our first air conditioner. And everybody would sleep on the floor in my parents' bedroom where the air conditioner could hit you. Otherwise, it was just brutally hot.
Now we are going to wrap up with one more question.
Okay.
What advice do you have for future generations like me?
Always be a strong Jew. Never be ashamed of what you are or where you've come from, and always proclaim your love for Zionism and Judaism, and be good to your grandma because she loves you.
Thank you.